Kia ora and welcome back to the Navigating Breath podcast with myself, John Van Hennen, where I explore my internal world today and hope that maybe it can be of support and benefit to those of you listening. I kind of had been racking my brain as to what to do this podcast on today, and everything that was kind of coming up with felt quite superficial. Like ideas about travel or all that sorts of things, but I feel like there's need for depth at the moment. So I thought, what better place to start than what has been going on for me, because it feels like we are all being put through the ringer at the moment, and lots of stuff is coming to light, and it has been quite challenging to navigate that, especially if you maybe don't have your own tools, or maybe the awareness isn't there as to what's actually going on. And I'm by no means an expert or anything in this facility, but I definitely have over my time developed a bit of a toolkit that I find really beneficial for myself and my clients, and thought it'd be nice to just share what's going on and offer that as a space to maybe potentially you see some reflections in your own life, which this may benefit in my sharing. And I think, like I said, these last few weeks have been massive for all sorts of stuff coming up that maybe I'd been not bothering to work on, or ignoring, or maybe didn't deal with it completely the first time round, and now it seems to really be illuminated. And we're coming up to the 8th of the 8th, and some people consider that to be what's called the Lion's Gate. I personally am not super convinced that is a thing, but I do know that when we have a collective bunch of people who believe in something strongly, it can definitely manifest in ways. It's like when we get a lot of people together to do meditation. When we do that, we create a frequency or vibration, and that can help to manifest or change the frequency of the collective consciousness. So I guess when it comes to the 8th of the 8th, we have enough people that believe in the power and ability to transform, and that potentially creates that frequency. And I know that what I do know is that we're going through the next Mercury retrograde, which is that alone is always a time of miscommunications and objects not working or things not working the way we'd like them to. It's also a really not good time to buy flights or book travel, just because often when it comes to it actually being the time to go ahead with whatever adventures we're meant to be going on, things don't always go as smoothly as they possibly could. But bringing it back to this last week has felt myself being triggered a lot by the people in my vicinity, and having to really step out of my ego and realize that it's not, potentially I play a role in it. And where am I showing up that's not in integrity, or where am I showing up in a way that this has the potential to illuminate something in me in which I can transform or transmute or bring awareness to, and shift the way I perceive something. Because once we bring awareness to something, it's inevitable that we are it has to change, because there's awareness to it. And I think the biggest one that has been coming up for me is my connection to the feminine, and not being seen by the feminine. And I guess you'd probably call that the mother wound, where we don't feel seen or heard or connected acknowledged by the feminine. And I know we use the term mother wound, but it doesn't just have to be our mother. It can be any female or feminine energy that can bring this up within us. And yeah, for me that's been incredibly confronting to see the frustration arise within me when I have felt unacknowledged. And thankfully I have an amazing partner who has the ability to hold space for that when that arises, and notice and be inquisitive, or offer opportunities for me to be inquisitive as to what is arising within me, and really helps to bring awareness to where I feel that in my body, where that frustration feels, and then I can begin to tap on those places and really tune into whatever's arising in me without allowing my ego or my mind to take over, and go on that fun path of blaming the other, as opposed to knowing that any external reflection is a reflection of what is going on within us. Yeah, which is a tough pill to swallow, but once we can finally bring ourselves to do so, there's so much liberation in that. And I guess there's been a few tools that I've been using over the last week which have really supported me in that. And probably the first one that comes to mind is moving my body, and whether that be in a fun way like dancing, or just getting out, grabbing a pillow and just hitting that pillow. Visualizing, maybe it is just visualizing that person or that energy, and thrashing it until that emotion finds resolution, because all it is energy trapped in our body, and it has nothing to do with that other person. It's just our own way. It's a potential for us to bring awareness to whatever it is that we're holding on to that no longer serves us, and to transmute that. And so, yeah, physical activity where I've really pushed myself, or really allowed my body to feel and acknowledge and shift that energy has been hugely beneficial, just to get that stagnant energy out of my body, out of my system, because all it does when it's inside me, that frustration just takes me into my head, and I'm unable to focus or concentrate or live to the best of my ability. So no one benefits from it. And of course other techniques like I was speaking to before, tapping has been really beneficial, just tapping on those meridian points at the top of the head, the space between the eyes, the side of the eyes, just beneath the eyes on the cheekbone, about the upper lip, the lower lip around the chin, the collarbone, the heart, sacral, and then under your armpits, on the ribs there, have all been spaces where you can kind of tap through and maybe use affirmations to help to clear that energy, and to bring it, hold awareness within the body, I guess, is something I find tapping really good for, because often if I try to analyze it myself, I will end up just going off on a tangent or thinking about something else. And another technique which has been really beneficial is journaling. Just writing down exactly how it is I feel, and what's arising, and have I felt like this before in some way, and what potentials there are to help to transmute that energy. And then maybe creating some affirmations around whatever's arising. I haven't really used affirmations that much in the past, but this last week I found it hugely beneficial. It's really helped to shift my perspective on things and reframe things in a healthy way. And then, of course, there's breath work, which, is just, there's just no better way for me personally to move energy through my body than through the breath, and allowing myself to come to a deep sense of presence in my body with the breath, breathing into those places and noticing the tension, or just allowing it to be there, and allow the breath to slowly shift it, has been hugely beneficial. Just creating all the, all these techniques combined have helped me shift through what has been a very, very challenging few weeks. And I know when I speak to clients and friends and whatnot, that everyone is feeling it in some way, shape or form at the moment. And there's other practices that have been really beneficial, like just going outside, getting some fresh air, going and staring at the stars at night if that's available to you, without light pollution or clouds or whatever, and maybe doing some gardening. All those practices that kind of help to take me out of my head, because I can be my own worst enemy in that space, and no one benefits from me getting stuck in those loops. But I really feel, especially this last 24 hours, that the physical movement has been hugely beneficial. And and then I guess also having the challenging conversations if they need to be had, but doing it from a place of love, not from hurt. Not having those conversations when things feel inflammatory and inflamed, but from a place of, after we've done these practices, then resetting, and then if there's boundaries that need to be set in place, or if there's discussions that need to be had, doing it from a level position. And I think the best way I know to know when it's from a place of level-headedness is knowing whether or not it has to happen right now. If it has to happen right now, then chances are I still have some work to do on my side, because in my experience, fear is the only thing that kind of forces us to feel like we need to have things done right then and there. And when we see things from a place of love, there's space for expansion there, and there's no need for immediate action, because we're not doing it from a hurt place where we need to prove ourselves in any way. So I think that's where I'd like to leave it for today. And if this resonates at all, I'd love to for you to leave a comment, or maybe you'd like to share it with someone if you think they would benefit from it. I will continue to endeavour to create these sorts of videos, and if it is something you enjoy, please get in touch. If you're interested in doing a breathwork session, or helping to really shift that energy, because this is the prime time to do it. We're deep in the source at the moment, and practices like those longer breathwork journeys can really get things moving. But thank you very much for listening, and look forward to seeing you next time.